if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I can try to if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm there's no way to go, no one I can see through at the side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Was out of reach of desire, was not aware of the start of hell, but when I stop to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among us.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Bubba Duke, the host here tonight, and we got Chris Best and Chris Parrish. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing well.
Awesome. Okay, now I have a surprise for everybody because it was a surprise for me. We have the boss, one Carl Carafel, in the house. What's going on, Carl?
I'm doing well. I have the day off, so I'm like, hey, OMD can't be there. The boss should show up. So here I am.
I thought I was having a good day. I'm rocking my CM Punk t-shirt that came in, and I'm like on a high right now. And then Parrish shows up, and then right behind Parrish, bing, in comes the boss, Carl Carafel. So, gentlemen, how's your week's been?
So far, it's been busy for me.
Like
Very
last
busy.
week, I guess, because it's the beginning of the week.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at the end of a year here.
Yeah.
Good one, Parrish. I was gonna say, on top of that, how has the year been going for everybody here?
Oh man, it feels like it's almost over.
I know, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable that 2024 in a day is done. It's incredible. Lots of things have happened here on Turnbuckle Studios, and I'm proud to be here for another year and years to come. All right, gentlemen, let's jump into it. Raw, the recap. Let's go through that. We had Drew McIntyre kicking the show off with some statements. How did you guys feel about that being done right off the hop?
Well, I mean, anytime you have Drew McIntyre come in on your show, he's going to bring a level of aggression, level of energy, and he's always going to get the ball rolling, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he just defeated Sami Zayn at Saturday Night's main event. He is having some business with the bloodline. He doesn't exactly want anything to do with anybody, so chaos is going to pursue right away. So
Yeah.
The Scottish psychopath is just that. He's a psychopath, and it's all in good fun every Monday night. I loved it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, in that same promo too, we had Sami Zayn come out, and it was just there was just so much fire and so much emotion in that promo that it's like I thought I was done with them at Saturday night's main event, but I kind of want more now. based off that promo. That promo sold me back on their feud again.
Right. How's Carl feeling? Did you get to watch this in a recap, Carl? Because I know you were working.
I did not, unfortunately. I did catch a little bit of Monday Night Raw, and to be honest with you, I can't even remember what I caught. Yeah.
He's like, I watched
the
part-
entire
Well,
week has just been
We'll
insane.
we'll remind you.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get reminded.
It's all good. Next thing we had on the list here, Io Sky winning her spot in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament for the semi-final round. Io Sky is now there.
Yeah.
So a little background, just in case Carl hasn't caught it. The lady that was supposed to be there, I can't remember her name now.
Kairi Sane.
Yes, got hurt, and Io stepped up and took that position and won it. So now
Gotcha.
she's into the next round. I was hoping Natalya was going to win, just for the simple fact of the legacy that the Hearts have with the Intercontinental title itself for the men. So it would have been nice to see her get a shot at that. But like Parrish said, he thinks there's going to be more of a storyline for her to get the title. So I'm hoping he's correct. I mean, he hasn't been wrong yet. Best, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, you got to look at how Natty looked after she lost that match. She had that look like at the Intercontinental title, like she had that look like I was so close, yet it's still so far away. But it still indicated to me that she could very well be put in line for a title shot.
Yes.
But all three of these women, Io Sky, Alba Fire, and Natty, wow, they put on a hell of a show. They were wrestling like they had a point to prove.
How does Parrish think of that?
Yeah, and like it, I want to know why they're getting in the habit of doing these injury angles right before a qualifier or the qualification match. I guess it's not qualifier; they're already in the tournament; they've already qualified.
Mhm.
But like the advancement of these quarterfinals, because they did it with Jade Cargill in the women's US, and now they've done it with Kairi Sane in the Intercontinental. And it's like, well, if they're not going to go further, and like, why are they even in there to begin with then? Why didn't you, why waste up the time of like now with Jade, obviously you saw the injury angle come in, but with Kairi Sane, it was just like, all you did was just replace it with her own stablemate. And then you had Sonya Deville be like, yeah, look at me. I'm going to orchestrate this attack. And then I'm going to go to, hey, Adam, can I have the spot? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, why not?
That was
I
the
didn't
surprise,
do anything
right?
wrong. It's
Yeah.
like, really? It's like I could have jumped out of a box on Among Us and said, boo, and be a little bit more on the ball with what was going on. But
Yeah,
it was one thing with Io Sky having that little hoop to go into the match. As you said, like Natalya, a great story would be for her being an underdog going into this match, winning, kind of having that underdog feeling, being like a female Sami Zayn going into the Intercontinental match against Gunther at WrestleMania, trying to live up to the legacy of her family name. I would have enjoyed that. However, maybe a longer story. Maybe she does it at WrestleMania. Maybe she does it at SummerSlam, where the Hearts have a history of the Intercontinental title. However, we have to wait and find out. Io Sky, we know she's white hot right now. We know Triple H is behind her 120,000%. So now we get Lyra Valkyria against Io Sky in a semifinals match, and can't really complain about that.
No, not at all. Your thoughts on Io winning this, Carl? Because I know you're kind of keeping track of things.
I think with the move that's going to be happening over to Netflix, things just kind of fall into place for certain things, and they want to try to capitalize in different markets as well. And while, over in the Asian markets, the WWE is a big thing, they are also a large group of people. And if you're going to have a migration for something, for a different culture, a different area, what better way to do that than to have that a person who represents that area as your champion, or pretty close to getting that championship. It's really going to start to build things for that and for this move that we're going to be having here on Monday Night Raw.
Again, 1 week time. 1 week's time, gentlemen. The countdown is on. Well, thank you for the input on that, Carl. You're actually what I was thinking. Why not? Because you're trying to get to a wider variety of people. So I enjoy watching Io. She's a great performer.
Yeah, and when it comes to WWE in the Asian market, WWE is always looked at as the number 2 promotion over there because the number 1 is New Japan, of course.
Yeah.
Io Sky is definitely one of those people that can help WWE put it to just that much closer to where New Japan is over there.
Yeah, and I also touch on that. Another very, very big market there it was Stardom as well. Now the Marigold promotion. So the women's wrestling as a whole is very popular out there. So knowing that a Japanese woman is advancing and is a primary candidate to be the first ever Intercontinental Women's Champion, I think that's a big deal, especially with WWE's involvement in the start of the Marigold, especially with Julia being a big part of helping that before she made the transition over to WWE.
Yeah, I feel like and I feel like there's more of a relationship between Rossy Ogawa, who runs Stardom, and Triple H that maybe we could see some sort of talent exchange at some point between the two of them.
Never at this day and age, I never say never, because I said before, WWE would never work with another company ever. And look at them now.
Sorry, I said Stardom. I meant Marigold.
That's okay. But I'm just saying, like, I said it before, they would never. And look at them now. They're working with the company of TNA and doing stuff with them. So never say never, because, again, you don't know. The next match we had on our docket here is Chad Gable defeating Tozawa via submission. This was a crazy match. Tozawa brought everything he had to this match as far as I was concerned. Again, Gable is Gable. He's a great performer, can hold his own in the ring, doing a great character right now. How do you guys feel that this match went? Did you want Gable to win or did you want Tozawa to win? Let's go best.
There was a small part of me that wants to see Tozawa win because I've always been a fan of that underdog guy. But I knew Chad Gable was taking it going in. I thought this was going to be a bit of a squash match, but I'm actually happy that it really wasn't. I mean, Tozawa still got in his offense, and this match was it was fun to watch.
Parrish.
Yeah, I think we all knew, even talking last week, we knew that this wasn't going to be a very long match, and that it wasn't. But the pace itself was in your face, right at you, all wheels going. Tozawa, I mean, you said he gave it everything he had. I've seen 205 Live. I've seen his run. I know he could have gave more. But what he was able to do was get caught by Chad Gable. And once Chad Gable catches you, it's almost all she wrote, because Chad Gable is arguably one of the best in-ring performers of our generation, especially from a technical standpoint. So when he is able to catch you, especially in that ankle lock, there is not a lot of room for movement, and your room for error at that point diminishes greatly. So when Chad Gable gets you there, it's almost all she wrote, as I once said. So Chad Gable, I thought, got the win that he needed to get back on track. He's been kind of having a little rocky road as of late. Tozawa still is on that needing to get back to where he wants to be, but I think he's better suited with a tag team with Otis. And Chad Gable needs to get back on track because he's been losing kind of the matches that count, especially when you go all the way back just a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when he lost against Cody Rhodes in the main event.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get Carl's input on this, please.
Chad Gable's going to do Chad Gable things, and Chad Gable is fantastic. And I think the company realizes that and knows that, and knows that Tozawa can be used in any type of a capacity as well, whether that is working main event guys or working anybody for that matter, whether it is a high flyer on the 205 live type of stuff that was being done, whether it is a new up and comer from NXT, whether it's being a comedic relief or being a more serious type of competitor as well. And I think for Tozawa, he's probably happy with what he is doing because he's being used at this point.
Because he's getting his TV time still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I would love to see Tozawa though get a little bit more of a
and here's
push.
Yeah.
But
and here's the funny thing. This match with Chad Gable wasn't his best match this week. He had a match against Pete Dunne on main event that was just fire.
Okay.
I did not know that. I missed that main event. I was going to say pay-per-view,
two
but it wasn't.
Two different styles of wrestling as well when you got Chad Gable and Pete Dunne.
Yeah, Pete Dunne's more of a like heavy hitter kind of guy, where Chad's more technical, I think.
Yeah.
But again, I think it was a good match. I appreciated everything that these two gentlemen put into it. Because we discussed prior to this match on this show that I thought it was just going to be a squash match. Chad Gable is going to come in, beat the ever-living tar out of him, and walk away. But it turned out to be quite an entertaining match. Which, hey, more power to both of them for putting on a show instead of making a squash match out of it.
Yeah, and the one thing that we even got after the end of that is another tease between a potential match between Chad Gable and Otis, which you have to think they need to do it around either Saturday night's main event later in January or even on the January 6th episode of Netflix, because you have to think after this whole transfer window is complete and we do have the roster set in stone, we're going to see not only American Made, but also the Alpha Babes, I guess they're calling themselves now, kind of go their separate ways, because this story has gone on far too long. There's too much time in between stories, especially when we're dealing with the Wyatt Six stuff. Just finish it off and let them go their own ways. And I think that match needs to end with Gable, Otis, and there has to be some sort of finale between those two.
Well, we're getting Gable and Otis tonight, so
yeah, we're not there yet. Best we're reviewing, review then preview. That's
stay with the card that I gave. No, I'm just So, what kind of stipulation would you put on a match like that? Just Chad Gable, Otis. Winner basically does whatever they want. Loser has to leave, kind of thing. Whatever. Would you do something like that?
Just have a straight up man versus man. They're both coming from the traditional amateur wrestling background.
Okay.
Nothing's more pure than just in-ring wrestling. So let them just do that. Find out who the better man is and let them be on their way.
Okay. I could get behind that. I agree. Yeah. That's pretty unanimous on the agreements on that. I heard two other in my headphones. So the next one we had was Damian Priest defeating Dirty Dom in a DQ. Parrish, what do you think of that match? How did that go for you?
I've seen it a million times already now. I feel like we're beating a horse. I think we're at that point where we all want next week to be now, because I think we're all ready to see what's next with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Why does Dom Mysterio always have to be put in this scenario where he's always in a position of he's not going to win? He got that one win against Damian Priest, and then all of a sudden he goes into a title match that also has Damian Priest. So it's not like his win really solidified anything. And then now he's just a punching bag for anything that is Finn Balor. And it just seems like Dirty Dom right now has been the MVP of the Judgment Day ever since he joined.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And one of the things that kind of irks me is that it always seems like, other than Rhea or Liv, there was never really much of a clear-cut sign for Dom in the terms of where he's going in the ring.
No.
And as much as I like the fact that he didn't lose, I also am kind of getting irked with the whole, why is it always him and Damien? And I get it. It leads to the War Raiders that eventually came in to help out. But
Yeah.
it just seems like if I was Dirty Dom, I'll just walk out because it's not my fight anymore.
I think
Mhm.
now you saying this, I don't mean to interrupt anybody that wants to add to it, but I feel that's where it's going is he's going to get tired of being the punching bag for one Finn Balor because he keeps dipping out and Dom has to take the beating for him. And if I would have been Dom and I would have had that title shot, I would have lost my ever-loving mind. I just beat this guy. Why is he in this match? I literally beat him to be in this match to win this title. Like, there was no him freaking out, him playing that heel of, dude, I did what I had to do. Like, give me my shot. Quit throwing things in at me that aren't supposed to be in here. But again, that's just how I feel. Let's go to Carl real quick. How do you feel about the Mysterio and Priest thing that's been going on for God knows how long now? Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like Parrish said, it's been done. We've seen it. It's continuous. It's always. It's every week. It's every day. It's pushed down our throat. It's there on social media. It's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
We get it. Let's move on.
Okay, I get it. Best? Are you feeling kind of the same as the rest of us? Just move on.
Somewhat, but I'm taking a slightly different approach because the match that they had last Monday was entertaining. I feel like it probably would have been better if JD was maybe put in that situation as opposed to Dom because of what Damien had done the week prior.
Yeah,
with costing them the tag team titles. And then you have Finn come out, cause the DQ, and Damien takes the win here. But I gotta say, isn't it fitting that only Dom, since the transfer window has happened, only Dom has talked to Nick Aldis about going to SmackDown?
right. True enough.
Are we even sure that's what they talked about?
We don't know.
That's
They
the thing,
could have been talking about chicken tendies.
Yeah.
And their love for chicken tendies. I mean,
as per Rhea, Dom is a chicken tendy slut. That was said last week.
yeah, right. Yeah, true enough. Oh my god, I love it. But chicken tendies are good though.
They're
Depends where you
delicious.
get them from.
I had them just the other day.
So did I.
That'll be my dinner tomorrow night.
Nice. Our next match, gentlemen, was Dexter Lumis defeating The Miz via DQ. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the match to a degree. And then shenanigans went down and kind of just killed it for me. I would have loved to see Dexter Lumis literally go in deeper into his character and just annihilate The Miz. Like, they're building this Wyatt Six to be like this almost unstoppable force. Why not just let them do it? Again, my opinion. What do you gentlemen think of this match in your opinions?
Okay, so this was my match of the night because it's Dexter Lumis. It's the Wyatt Six. Carl, you guys all know I love all the Wyatt Six kind of stuff. I was not a fan of The Miz coming out dressed the way he was and dancing around the entrance the way he was, because the way they built to this match, it was supposed to be a serious match, but you still had The Miz doing his shtick coming to the ring, which made absolutely no sense. He should have come to the ring and been a little bit terrified that he was going to be fighting Dexter Lumis. I expected shenanigans in this match. I'm not a fan of them doing back-to-back disqualification finishes, though, at the same time. But I knew shenanigans were going to happen in this one.
Yeah, it was coming. We knew it. Parrish, you were going to say something? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't dislike what they're doing, and like when you're saying like building the Wyatt Six up to be this like dangerous force, yeah, you're right. Like you're 100% right with that's what they need to do, but they also have to find a stable that's willing to at least match them at some point, or else it doesn't. then whatever they do just isn't worth our investment, right?
Yeah.
The Final Testament has shown that they're able to play mind games with the Wyatt Six, and that gives them a sense of credibility, knowing how cryptic the Wyatt Six can be. One of the biggest things is we never know what's next with the Wyatt Six. We never know where they are at, and even if we think we do, they completely change everything that we thought we knew. So with the Final Testament, they're kind of batting in that same kind of mindset with also playing a little bit more behind the scenes, trying to be one up on their opponent. I like the fact that we got Dexter Lumis in action because it's been a hot minute since we've had Dexter Lumis in the ring. And Dexter Lumis, I think a lot of people forget just how talented he is. And when you have him against The Miz, look, on paper, that sounds great, but The Miz makes a goofball look silly. And that's not a good thing. Miz needs to start acting more appropriate to the storyline. He looks like the Karate Kid's replacement that couldn't get the gig, and that is not a compliment.
No.
He looks stupid. He needs to be a little bit more serious, or else I'm not buying a thing he's doing anymore. It's 2024. Everybody's ramped up, ready to go. He's still looking like he's trying to piggyback on Bulk and Scully from the Power Rangers.
Literally. If did you happen to see this entrance, Carl? No way.
I did not. No.
You haven't missed anything.
It's The Miz, right?
You
You're
haven't
talking
missed
The
anything.
Miz's entrance.
Yeah.
You've seen one. You've seen
it
pretty
all.
much all of them.
Yep.
I agree. The Miz needs to become a little bit more serious now. We're coming into different eras, different times, different situations, and maybe it's time for the Miz to stop, doing these dick and ass jokes. I'll say,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, we get it. He's got big balls. Okay, cool, but maybe it's time to move away from this because I want to get back to a time where we saw the Miz with the Intercontinental Championship on a program after a show going absolutely crazy and talking about how he's the champion and he's not getting the respect that should be given to him. That type of emotion, that type of fire come back, that type of seriousness make a return.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. The A-lister thing, and then this when he comes out of the ring going like this, and dude, number one, your gear needs to change to match what you're doing. Number two, your entrance needs to change to what you're doing. Your attitude needs to change to what you're doing. You are supposed to be this heel character right now, and you're just coming across as a goofball, which doesn't interest me. And I'm a Miz fan. Ask Carl. When Miz was not even champion, I was like, hey, the Miz is a pretty cool guy. Like, I like him. And I couldn't figure out why, but he was doing this really cool bit. And he was really serious. Why can't he do that again?
Yeah. I mean, Ethan Page in NXT has a lot of Miz qualities, but even he's getting serious at a point. He's giving you a lot of emotional investment based on his character. I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, if there's a working relationship with TNA, let's just trade Miz TNA for Josh Alexander. Please.
Oh, God, please. And
you know what
go ahead, Best.
You know what the Miz kind of reminds me of? Marty Jannetty when he returned in 1996. His gimmick was just so out of date by that point that Marty Jannetty too came across like a dork. And that's what the Miz is. The Miz is a dork.
I was gonna say he reminds me more of a Leaf Cassidy.
Even that too.
But if I was the Miz coming out to face Dexter Lumis, I would have been like making sure he's not coming behind me while I'm coming out. Like looking underneath the ring. I would have been super paranoid that this guy's going to jump me from somewhere because they could come out of anywhere. But he didn't play that. But he just come out thinking he was the A-lister with his cojones and didn't react to the way I would have.
And this,
go ahead.
Yeah, and this is just sad because the Miz is a Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. He has the resume that a lot of people just dream to have, and he is very good, very accomplished and very acknowledged in what he does, very respected within the locker room. It's just right now the presentation feels like it's more suited for the 1990s WWF than it is for the 2024 going into 2025 WWE. That's about to be historic when it moves to Netflix next week.
Very historic. And that's the sad part for me, is because, yes, like you said, The Miz has the greatest resume out of some wrestlers today and storylines. But I think it's going to take a minute, but if he doesn't, he's going to lose a lot of fans. Now, the next two we're going to go through pretty quick because then we got the review and we have to get out of here for the Raw Patrol. So we had the Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre won this match. Very brief. I thought it was a good match. Both men gave. Sami Zayn looked great. He looked like a big man in this match until, and I'm going to steal this one from you, Parrish, he got caught by Drew McIntyre. And then it was pretty well game over at that point. Let's go right to you, Parrish. How did you think this match went for both these men?
I think this is a match that would have benefited had it had more time. And this is such an easy thing to say. But I'll tell you why I'm saying this. And that is because these are two of the best that this industry has to offer. And they captivate you. They captivate your attention. They captivate your emotion the more they go, because you can get everything out of Sami Zayn. He is one of the best underdogs pro wrestling has ever seen. When you want to give me a Mount Rushmore of top underdogs in pro wrestling, I'm giving you Ricky Steamboat, Rey Mysterio, and Sami Zayn is damn well on it as well, because he is one of the best at it. And anytime he's in the ring and he is in a fight of his life, he makes you believe and he makes you sympathetic. And guess what? He gets you wanting to believe that the small guy, the little guy, the guy that's not big enough, he's not strong enough, he's not this, he's not the mold that everybody wants you to be, not only has a chance, but can win. And that is powerful. And I love that. And that is why it needed more time, because it could have been something special.
Oh, yeah.
And we're waiting for it now.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily a negative. We're waiting for it now, which is a good thing and a positive.
Yeah, and that's why I came away from this match wanting to see them again. I want to see them maybe on a Saturday night's main event, or even at the Royal Rumble have a match, you know?
Anywhere. Throw them in a parking lot for all I care. Like, they had me from the minute the bell rang till the end. I was on the edge of my seat, and I, like you guys, I want more.
Yeah, and then when you just add Drew McIntyre and what he's been doing in 2024, he has recaptured the magic that he had right before the pandemic, where he has everybody in the audience, everybody watching at home in the palm of their hands, and he's now flipped from being the good guy now to the bad guy. We all know his history and the feud that he had with CM Punk. It was absolutely amazing, and then now he's bringing that momentum onto Sami Zayn and whoever was in charge helping the bloodline, and it's just so good. And it's one of those things where now we're trying to piece in, okay, how are we going to add to this? Does he team up with this person? Is he and Seth Rollins going to be friends? Is him and KO going to be friends? This is something that we're getting invested in, and now we're fantasizing about what we could do with Drew McIntyre. And let me tell you, it's been a really long time since fans were able to do that.
So you want to talk about the fantasy aspect of being a fan? I've seen floating around Facebook and other things a rendition of the NWO. KO, McIntyre, Seth freaking Rollins. Teaming up to get rid of the bloodline, everything. It's just a fantasy thing.
No, but why the NWO though? Like that's so weird to me.
And because they're against the order of Triple H and what he's doing with WWE and whatever. It's all, but I just think it's fun now to be able to fantasize about that kind of stuff, because like I keep saying, I feel kayfabe is coming back really strong because we're not finding everything out anymore. There's that element of surprise again. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you get that little feeling again. The last segment. Sorry, is everybody done talking about that? I'm just.
Yeah.
I am now.
We had to sit down with Seth Rollins, the interview. I'll be honest, I tuned it out because I didn't care. Not gonna lie, I just didn't care what he had to say.
I'm loving the emotion that Rollins is starting to put into this thing with CM Punk. He's still coming out with he still comes out with the silly outfits and all that, but unlike the Miz, who also comes out with silly outfits, Seth Rollins knows when to make things serious. And that's exactly what he's done with this sit down interview with Jackie Redmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's not pee around the bush, even though we really want to go. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins next week on Raw, which is right now dubbed to be the main event, is a match everybody's been waiting for since last year's Survivor Series when he freaked out after the War Games match.
Yeah.
And as soon as he went face-to-face with CM Punk the night after that, we wanted to see it then. And then we've heard rumblings that was the scheduled match at WrestleMania of this year before CM Punk was hurt. So now that we're getting this, and we're getting the story that Seth Rollins was basically, he's almost CM Punk light, which is really funny because, yes, that's kind of like a beer reference. And the irony is not short on the fact that CM Punk is straight edge. But the fact that they both came from Ring of Honor, they both were Ring of Honor champions. They've won Money in the Bank. They've cashed it in.
Yep.
They had moments where they basically stole the title, where it was CM Punk with Jeff Hardy, or it was Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And then you've seen them kind of go on and be, they've been a champion somewhere, and then they went on and was a champion somewhere else, and then they've gone back and helped down the younger crew. Remember when CM Punk helped, had the words of wisdom with Seth Rollins when he was the inaugural NXT champion, and then Seth Rollins later did that to Carmelo Hayes, and then you're hearing stories that CM Punk was asked by Seth Rollins to train him for free to get into the Ring of Honor. And then there's always these comparisons, especially with the Shield being initial idea of CM Punk, that they initially made their debut helping CM Punk when he defeated Ryback at Survivor Series. I believe it was 2012. So there's just all this history. And yes, they've had a match before, but now they're both superstars and they're megastars. They're two of the best to ever do it. We want to see this match, and if there's one person that probably wants it most, it's Seth Rollins, because nobody likes living under a shadow. Seth Rollins knows he still does. And the one reason why he hates Punk is because he feels Punk betrayed the WWE and then tried to tear it down when he was away. And during that whole time, it was Seth Rollins who was trying to make WWE what it is today. And then now that it's at the hottest it's ever been, CM Punk just straight edges his ass back and said, guess what? Netflix, I'm on it. So you can understand it. Nobody's wrong, but we want to see these guys just absolutely punch each other's face out.
True. How's everybody feel about that statement that he's making? Yeah, I feel the same way.
I vented.
No, dude, you made a point. You made a point, though. Who doesn't want to see them just get in a ring or a cage or a dumpster fire, for all I care, and just rip the place apart?
The Burno match. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's bring it back.
The fire still burns.
Boiler room brawl.
Right? Like something just crazy. Put them in a parking lot and off a bridge over top of the Mississippi.
Put them in that NXT parking lot. Nothing good ever happens in there.
Ever.
Right?
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to this great episode we have going on tonight, being the last one on regular TV for us, regular folk.
End of an era.
It's an end. Exactly. Thank you for. That's exactly what I was going to get to. It's
I know
end
it
of an
was.
era
I was getting to it quicker.
Okay, so because we're talking about CM Punk, him and Seth Rollins will be under the same roof tonight to let everybody know. So we got to keep an eye on the background for shenanigans between those two, or who knows what will happen. Who knows?
Raw
and then-
is going to be the 2-hour show that it is right now. And they're actually saying that CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the same place
yeah,
at the same time.
exactly.
So, given something like that, already is telling us that there's going to be some sort of shenanigans that are going on between the two of them because it's same place, same time. You know, okay, there we go.
I think this is where they've announced the match for next week already. Do you think something gets put on it because these two gentlemen can't stay away from each other tonight?
I don't think so.
No stipulations, no.
No, because nobody is saying that this is the end all be all of for them, right? This is just the first of what many believe could be multiple, and if that's something, you have to keep it simple, let it build, let it rise, and let it grow. And I think what we're just going to see is just an absolute in-ring war with these two. CM Punk still has
he still has
a chip on his shoulder when it comes to proving himself in WWE. And Seth Rollins wants to be the human eraser that takes CM Punk out of the equation once and for all. So these guys have a point to prove. It's going to be fun. They can't stand each other. They hate each other. And it's just going to be awesome to see. So I'm excited. The fact that they're in the same building right now, it's the blow off before the blow up. So let's see what they do. I want to see Adam Pearce say, I need to have a drink. I want to see him have a hard day at the office because CM Punk and Seth Rollins are just causing too much brouhaha BS for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to see like Adam Pearce in his office, legs kicked up, and a bottle of Jack right beside him or something.
If he utters the words, I'd rather be with Chelsea right now, or rather deal with Chelsea right now, I'd be like,
right. Yeah, exactly my point. So, as we know, Chad Gable versus Otis so what is it? This is all wrong. The Judgment Day is going to be, because it says Chad Gable versus Otis, Damian Priest, and the War Raiders versus Judgment Day.
It's because it's not spaced out, but we are getting a 6-man tag, and we are getting Chad Gable versus taking on Otis.
Oh, okay. So
we'll start with Chad Gable versus Otis.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about them in the preview match. Now they have that one-on-one match. I think it's very interesting to see. I hope this is the closure of these two factions and these two people. And I have a feeling Otis is going to pick up the win. What do we all think?
I'm going Otis too. Otis needs this win. Chad Gable, I don't think really does, because if you move him over to SmackDown with the trade window, you can start doing something new with Chad Gable over there, and give him the wins that he needs over there.
And it's one way for Otis just basically to shut Chad up. Like, I'm better than you. Enough's enough. Go away.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah, I knew Carl was going to go with Otis. So.
Yeah. So back to the 6-man tag. We got Damian Priest and the War Raiders taking on the Judgment Day.
This is going to be a very fun match. It's from the Judgment Day. It's going to be Dominic, JD, and Finn. I'm expecting a lot of fun out of this match and the stories that are going to be told, because, of course, Finn and JD may want to get some revenge on the War Raiders for them obviously losing the tag titles. Then there's the whole story with Finn and Damian. And, of course, maybe Dom might want to get some revenge for the loss last week as well.
Yeah.
All in all, this is going to be a fun match.
I agree. It's going to be, as a famous announcer used to say, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
By God, by God.
Yeah, he's going to break somebody in half tonight, for sure.
Yeah, and I really hope this goes into a point where the War Raiders kind of break off to be with JD and Dom, and I kind of hope that's kind of like the direction they go, and then allows Finn and Damian Priest. And I have to think Carlito's going to find a way to find his way in. I really hope that this is the match where we see Finn Balor kind of get the edge, whether it's through a win or at least a beatdown. I need him to get the edge. And I say this because if he doesn't get the edge, then what is the point of having a blow-off match? Because at this point, Damian Priest is standing tall multiple weeks in a row, in ring against the Judgment Day. Finn Balor needs to have that edge. And I think it's better suited for a win because now he hangs that over Damian Priest's head before their ultimate matchup, which I'm assuming is either going to be next week or the Saturday night's main event. I'm leaning towards Saturday night's main event.
That's what I'm thinking. We're all pretty unanimous on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next match is R-Truth facing one Pete Dunne. And we know the build up to this one. R-Truth's been poking at Dunne, calling him the other name he used to be called and having fun with it. And Pete Dunne's absolutely lost his mind. Who takes the win in this match?
I'm going with Pete Dunne because R-Truth has beaten him, I believe, twice already. So Pete Dunne kind of needs this win.
Okay.
Yeah, it benefits the artist formerly known as Butch, now recognized as Pete Dunne. Hey, if this gets me on Netflix, I'm okay with it. But no, I mean, we all know what R-Truth is there for. And then, I mean, probably. But yeah, no, I think Pete Dunne, 100%.
Okay.
And I think this is just a means to an end. And then Pete Dunne will probably go to SmackDown in the transfer window and kind of start doing his own thing until either Tyler Bate comes back or there's going to be new plans for him.
Awesome. How's Carl feel about that?
I want R-Truth all the way. I do. 100% I do.
I mean,
like at this point, R-Truth has definitely earned everything that he is being given right now. And that's exactly what I just want it to be. 2025, the year of R-Truth.
R-Truth's year. Okay.
Carl's picking R-Truth to win the Royal Rumble.
That's what's up.
Dude, that would be awesome.
And I can say I was there.
Right? Yeah, you're going to be there. So, okay, I did save what I want to call the best matches tonight for last. Both semifinal matches for the women's Intercontinental title are tonight. The semifinals. So, first off, we have Io versus Valkyrie. I call her Valkyrie because
Lara Valkyria.
I call her that because she looks like one of the ones off of Thor. I have a hard time picking who I want to win that match because I am invested in both women. For talent reasons, for the fact that they are top of their game and deserve to be where they are. Who do you guys pick, and a quick brief reason why? Best.
This is actually going to be my match of the night. This is going to be extremely athletic. I'm having a difficult time picking out of these two because, again, as Parrish had already mentioned, Io Sky is white hot. Lyra Valkyria can become white hot if she takes this win. I'm going to go with Lyra on this one.
Okay. Carl?
Given the names inside of the other matchup, I'm
right.
going to have to say that it's going to be Lyra that is going to take this matchup. Solely based off of the other matchup. I mean, inside the other one, I don't see one of the competitors whose name is part of the Marvel universe winning that.
Okay.
But, so given that alone is why.
Okay.
I see Lyra winning, and it's not because I am wanting her to choose my pick right. So I feel like I just have to keep going, and she's my girl.
Yeah,
I know. But I feel like when we got Pure Fusion Collective, they've obviously put the beat down on Kairi Sane. They took her out. There's that clear thing going with them and Damage Control. So I do see them sticking their nose in both matches here. And I
Okay.
think their prerogative could be what helps out Lyra advance. And then in that frame could be a reason to why in the other match they fail, because I do think Kyrie could be coming back to kind of, stick it back. And then at some point, I do think we're going to get a 6-woman tag team match with
Okay.
these factions.
Nice. I like that. Thinking about, because you all made a great point. Yeah, I think Lyra's going to win it because of Dakota Kai and Zoe Stark being in the other match. That you can't have teammates go against each other, and I just don't see Zoe winning. To be honest, I just don't. So
I'm actually going to correct you, because the very first inaugural match for the European Championship was actually Owen Hart versus the British Bulldog, and they were tag team champions, and that was the finals of that tournament. So it's not like it hasn't been done before. It very much has. I could see it because Triple H is a historian. He does like to do that stuff.
he does.
And this is a new era in the WWE. However, I do think there's going to be a rhyme and reason. A lot of people aren't picking Zoe Stark, but if Lyra Valkyria is in the finals, you have to think that there's going to be an antagonist as well going into this matchup. And Zoe Stark makes a lot of sense as that person. Is she maybe the favorite to win? Absolutely not. But we all know that ever since she has stepped onto Monday Night Raw, onto that quote-unquote main roster, she has been used and primarily used. They haven't given up on her. They're very much behind her, and they want to see her succeed. She's still around the 30 years of age, so they know they have years in front of her, and I think this is now a time at title to really establish her as a mainstay in the WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to Dakota Kai and Zoe Stark, I mean, I've got Dakota winning too, but there's a big part of me that says Zoe will not be done with the Women's Intercontinental title. I get a feeling that after this tournament, she's probably going to want to go after whomever wins. Let's say Dakota Kai wins it and the whole feud with Pure Fusion Collective continues. Then you can put Zoe up against Dakota for the Intercontinental title somewhere down the line in this feud.
Okay. How's Carl feeling about all this? Oh, bless you.
Yeah. I don't know, because everyone else has made some really good points right now, and I'm questioning my thought process on a lot of this now.
Okay. I mean, I don't blame you, because it is.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it, like everybody brought up really good points, right? And could it be Zoe Stark and Lyra Valkyria in the finals? Yeah, I think now it definitely could be, because of that faction war that could go on later on down the road, right? And then you'd maybe want somebody like, Dakota Kai to win that and have that prestige to help build that faction as well. So it's, Jesus.
Right. I look at
Zoe.
it as...
I'm going to go Zoe. I'm going to go Zoe Stark and Lyra Valkyria for the final.
Okay. I can get behind that.
I also want to touch on this as well, because the possibility of Zoe Stark and Io winning and being the finals allow both factions to have a representative in that matchup, right? So it brings that faction versus faction up. Now, do you want the Intercontinental Championship to be kind of, I'm going to use the word tainted by an outside angle coming in? I don't think you do, and that is why I'm sticking true to Lyra Valkyria being that person to win, because when you see the smoke, there's always something that is unexpected when it all fades away. And we're seeing a lot of smoke, whether it's Pure Fusion Collective or Damage Control. And when that smoke clears and there's that Intercontinental Championship down the road, we might see the one thing we're not expecting, and that is Lyra, someone who is not on either side.
True. You see again, and I look at it as all 4 of these women deserve to carry that title.
Mm-hmm.
They have definitely earned the right to be there, but now you got me thinking. What you just said makes more sense because you don't want to taint that first title run with this title with some kind of feud between 2 groups. This is why I love having these guys here. Appreciate it, Parrish. That's a lot to digest right now. Wow. Whew. That is a lot.
That's what she said.
Bro, really?
Hey, I'm not drinking. This is what you get.
All right. Just let everybody know that's watching. In 5 minutes, we do have the Raw
Patrol.
up. Sorry,
Yep.
I had a brain fart. But before we take off, I'm going to show you what goes on here throughout the week with Turnbuckle Studios and the program we have running. Take a watch this, and we'll explain more in a minute.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
So that is everything that goes on throughout the week. Just so you know, you can go to affiliationprogram.my.canva.site and definitely get more information on the programming and get questions answered that you have about podcasting, which all these gentlemen here have something to do with, especially, that guy in the bottom corner down there. We call him the boss. His name's Carl Kerfeld. Yeah, if it wasn't for that guy, a lot of us wouldn't be into the podcasting like we are now. I know I am one of them. Just real quick, I'm going to throw some sponsorships out here. We have True North Customs. Check out his Facebook, True North Customs 23, and let him know that the Borsna sent you using promo code TNC. And when you order all your parts for your vehicles, anything that runs, things with and without wheels, the guy right next door to him, Professional Auto Services, that's my buddy Corey there. Give him a call, set up an appointment, get your parts put on, and he will help you out, no problem. Quick shout out for the Bulkster. Go to YouTube, Bulkster Show, and TikTok, Bulkster Show. And our buddy that's not here, OMD, is Linktree/OMD Show. On that note, y'all, thank you for coming out and filling in. It takes 2 people to fill in for one OMD. Actually, 3 is, but whatever. We ain't saying nothing. We'll see you over on the Raw Patrol. Have a good night, y'all.
Diva